Hello, welcome to Dundrell's podcast. I'm your host Justin. Today we have another comic book review for you guys today. Today we're reviewing Thanos Cosmic Powers, which was printed in 2015, but um, this collects comics from 93 through 94. There's the back there. It collects Secret Defenders 12 through 14 and Cosmic Powers 1 through 6, written by Ron Marz, with art by Tom Grindberg, Ron Lim, Jeff Moore, Andy Smith, and Scot Eaton. This trade normally goes for $35 or 39 Canadian. This is rated teen for teen. Alright. And boy, did I love this book. Like, I grew up, when I first started reading comics, I started reading like 90s comics. Whenever I read 90s comics, I get like super nostalgic, but like a lot of people hated Marvel back in the 90s, so keep in mind I might be a little biased, right, when I read this. But yeah, the story for this book is, it takes place obviously after Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos is no longer a... Here's Thanos and Jack of Hearts here. Thanos is no longer a simp for death, right? And, you know, he just wants to go around the universe kicking ass and taking names. And for him, he's basically going around looking for a challenge to the fight, right? So he comes up with this plan to assemble a team to go and steal this robot who has, like, you know, a huge database in its computer brain, and he kidnaps a bunch of supervillains. There's Gator there, who's like a space pirate, and the other members of the team is Nitro, who has exploding powers, Rhino, and Super Skrull, and Titanium Man, Titanium Man is basically like Russian Iron Man. He's a villain of Iron Man. Super Skrull is a Skrull warrior who has all the powers of the Fantastic Four, right? So the first couple of issues is them attacking this temple, right? This temple to steal the robot for Thanos, right? And they're in this temple, they're like religious zealots. They think like the robot is like a god, a prophet, like a god. And lots of action in this book, right? Lots of action in this book. Cool covers. Though sometimes there's some awkward like art in the book. Like look how Gator is holding that gun, right? Man, Nitro is pretty cool. He apparently killed Captain Marvel, right? And what ends up happening is they steal the robot. There's the robot there, and they get betrayed by Galactus, right? And their ship gets blown up, but they get rescued by Silver Surfer and Legacy, who is Captain Marvel's son, right? And Captain Marvel's son does not know who Nitro is, so they save Nitro, right? They save Nitro and the Earthlings, but they arrest Gator because he's like a space pirate, right? And you get a cameo by Nebula, which here you can see like Nitro recognizes Legacy and he shakes his hand, and Legacy has no idea who he is. So there's like later on, like Legacy finds out who Nitro is and goes out to kill him, right? So yeah, in this book you get a bunch of origin stories for different allies that um, Thanos is going to need to fight and kill Tyrant, who is this evil space emperor who he has chosen to like go out and kill, right? Who used to be the enemy of Galactus, right? So he assembles a team to go out and kill Tyrant, which is a spinster, which is a race of female warriors. You got Terax there, which you gotta love the art, man. Lot of good art here. Lot of action. Though the backgrounds are a bit lazy. Oh, here's like Jack of Hearts. He's hanging out with the spinster, and he has a wet dream about the spinster, where he hooks up with her. You even see her drop her panties. I'm like, this was very sexualized, and it turns out it was all a dream. Yeah, so what happens is Thanos and Turax kidnap the spinster, but is able to get her to join their side, and Jack of Hearts goes to the Titan homeworld to get help to defeat Thanos, right? Which he gets the help of Legacy, right? Here's the story where Legacy fights Nitro, tries to avenge his father, and he wants to kill Legacy, but because of a quote from his father, he doesn't. Yeah. So I don't want to spoil the whole book, but I don't want to spoil the whole book. So if you're a fan of 90s rule of cool and action and space adventures, this is pretty good, but it's a very simple story. As villain books go, this is probably the best villain book I've read, except for Suicide Squad, because most villain books are boring and they turn them into anti-heroes. Thanos is not an anti-hero in this book. Thanos is like a mean bastard who constantly tricks people into joining his side only to betray them. Right? Yeah, but lots of action in this book, lots of cool characters, right? If I had some problems, the art sometimes was a little weak. There's some weird, nonsense poses, right, in the book, right? Which, and I also hated this shit, where the book always starts off with this crap, where they flip the pages, right? So you have to read the book on its side. I hate that crap, and they did that in every issue. One other cool thing about this book, in between the issues, they show the different trading cards that came with the comics, which this trade didn't come with trading cards, but man, the trading cards look cool. Too bad when you try to get these books. If you try to buy old comics that didn't come with trading cards, and you try to buy the trading cards separately nowadays, the trading cards are super expensive, man. They had some at this antique store that I went to buy some comics, and they were $15 each, man. It's holy crap. But yeah, lots of cool art here, but except for weird look at this shit. Look how spread out Jack of Hearts' legs are when they should be behind him, but they're off to the side while he's flying in space. Yeah, all dumb shit like that, but overall, this was a good book. Lots of action and adventure, but very simple story. It's just Thanos is out to prove how much of a badass he is by fighting another space supervillain, right? So yeah, if I were to give this rating, it's a 6.5 out of 10. Not a lot going there, but it's pretty good. Though I don't know if I would recommend it for $40. If you can get this for 20 or less, I would say it's worth it. But yeah, I can't. this kind of simple action story, not really worth $40, but you know, it is good for what it is. So our next comic book review, we're gonna do another back issue special. Which, if people don't know what my back issue specials are, I just review random back issues with a theme. Right? I did like a Marvel 2099 back issue special where I reviewed Marvel 2099 books. I reviewed like random 80s Teen Titan books, random like not 80s, but random Teen Titan books. I reviewed like random 80s DC comics. So for our next back issue special, we're going to review 4 90s Image comics: Cyberforce issue 5, Pit issue 5, Wildstorm Rising issue 1, and Stormwatch preview. So make sure to check that out. We'll post a review for this, I don't know, during the weekend. Alright guys.